On the road, I am Anirudh Dhavakat, and today on this special broadcast, my guest is from the pole-bound state of Assam, son of three-time Chief Minister, AICC leader and also a member of the Congress Working Committee, Gaurav Gogoi. Today on this broadcast, I am going to bring you the other side of Gaurav Gogoi as a person, but definitely not as a politician, as he crisscrossed the lantern braid of Assam campaigning for his party. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to On the Road.
Hi,
Today I'll be accompanying you throughout your journey.
Sure.
So as we start, I would like to know from you, where are we heading today?
Well, we are going to Dhekia Juli, which is about roughly around 2.5 hours from here, from Guwahati by road. And then we'll be canvassing with the local candidates and meeting the people there.
Great. We'll like to get to know the other side of Gaurav Gogoi basically today, not as a politician, but definitely as an individual, as a person.
Sure, let's see. I hope it's as interesting for your viewers.
Definitely. How do you start your day, basically, if we talk about during the election season now, how your day starts with?
Well, very simply, I mean, I love to put in some few minutes of exercise in the morning, whether that's with yoga or whether that's with some, with some weights. I travel with a yoga mat and a kettlebell. So wherever I go, so I alternate. So if one day I'm doing yoga, the next day I'll do, with a kettlebell, with a weight. So it keeps me fit, and that helps me keep my mind fresh.
What do you prefer in breakfast, basically?
I normally try to have a very simple breakfast, so whether maybe a banana or like a boiled egg. So and then if you're traveling, then again just something, just roti and sabji. That's how I like to just have a light breakfast. And then what happens eventually, so we'll stop somewhere for lunch at a party worker's house, and then we'll have a heavy lunch. But then again, we'll have a very light meal for dinner.
From morning to evening, you keep meeting a lot of people across your day. What are the issues and topics that they talk to you, basically?
Well, it's about struggle. They all talk about how much they are struggling. The economic conditions in Assam and in India are so difficult as of now. It's with cost of all commodities rising. So everybody is talking about how they are struggling, and it's amazing to see that they still remain. We all remain positive. We don't lose hope. We know that there are better days to come, and I also we all of us, we try to do the best that we can. Whether that's an ordinary shopkeeper or me as a representative of the people in the parliament. We all try to do the best, and we try to make the best of what we have. So even though in current times all people understand the situation is not good, but the head is held up high, and we all try to live a life of dignity and work hard for a better future.
Praton Deputy Speaker Himananda Tati Damoria, Monjot উপস্থিত ঢেকিয়াজুলি সমষ্টি ইয়াত নিৰ্বাচন এতিয়ালৈকে হোৱা নাই
So, as the campaign trial of Gaurav Gogoi continues in the northern bank of Brahmaputra, now we have stopped in Thelamara area of Sonitpur district to have a quick lunch. As we proceed to have the lunch, I would just like to have a quick word from Gaurav. What basically do you prefer in lunch?
Well, I'm a foodie and I'm Assamese. So if you give me rice, dal, fish, and some plain vegetables, I'm more than happy. As a kid, I remember in my growing up years, I was more than happy with just rice, dal, and what we call aloo pitika, which is basically like mashed potatoes with a bit of mustard oil. And my father and all of my mother, my sister, I think everybody in our house is a foodie. So we always talk about food. When we call each other, we always discuss about what they have made. If I call my sister, if I call my mother, we always talking about food. So I think food is a very important part of our life.
Despite being the son of a chief minister, you had a successful stint in the corporate sector abroad. From there, you came here to work in the non-government organization, non-government sector, and then to politics. If I'm not wrong, 10 years back during the Assam Assembly elections only, you started campaigning for your father as well as the party. How do you see your journey from the corporate sector to politics?
I think I've remained the same person. I was always concerned about development. I was always concerned about public service. I was always interested in economics, in politics, in young people, in rural areas. So I think I've remained the same person, but just of course the world around me has changed, and the incentive has changed. Obviously, when I was in the corporate sector, the incentive was profits. When I'm in the non-profit sector, the incentive was that government policies. And now that I'm in politics, the world is so much more larger. You have to think about industry, you have to think about farmers, you have to think about laws, and you have to think about culture. So the canvas, the amount of subjects that you have to grasp and understand to be able to have a proper roadmap for it is much more larger. So I enjoy it, but I've remained the same person.
Your father was one of the most revered politician of the state. If I talk about you and your father, then I would like to know, did he also play the role of a role model and a guiding figure when you came into politics?
Oh, absolutely. I think I came into politics, having done my master's in public policy and having studied international economics, international development. So when you're young, you tend to be a bit overconfident with your knowledge and experience. So I was very overconfident about my ideas about development for Assam. And we would have constructive debates with each other. I would clash with my father's views about development. But even now, so many years past. I mean, it's been 5 years since he's left the chief ministership. But I find that his ideas are much more relevant than my ideas, and I have begin to appreciate his ideas, and therefore knowing the fact that I had a master's degree, but his years of experience has taught him much more, and his years of spending time with people, having genuine human connections and conversations with people, has taught him much more about what Assam is and the type of development Assam needs and the type of politics that keeps Assam united. I think he mentored me then, and even now, my memories of him continue to guide my work now, as of today as well.
Zindabad!
It takes a lot of energy to address back-to-back rallies, especially during the campaign trial. From where do you get the energy and what keeps you going?
I think from the people. I think anyone who likes working with people, when they're among people, they get energy, they get the vibe. And I think we collectively, not just me, I think I try to give energy to the people, I get energy from them, and collectively as a society, I think we create a lot of positive energy because we talk about hope, we talk about positive things, we talk about what we can do, we talk about solutions to solve the problems. So when we approach life like that, when we approach politics like that, then I think that just creates optimism, and optimism gives us all of us energy.
Your father was an avid golfer. He was very keenly interested in sports. Do you also have a passion for sports?
Oh yes, I love to play all forms of sport. I think whenever, during the Jatra, if I see a volleyball net or a badminton net or football or cricket, I always stop by. I personally like playing cricket and tennis a lot. And I'm interested in long distance running. I've run half marathons in the past as well. I love sports. I think sports teaches us a lot about hard work, about dealing with victory, about dealing with loss, and about working in teams. So I appreciate sports.
As a common person, as a common man, not as a politician, what is your vision for the state of Assam and the nation?
Well, you see, Assam is part of the Northeast where our ecology is very unique. It's very pristine. We are not as urbanized as the rest of India. So I hope that, my vision for Assam is that we preserve the ecology, we preserve our culture. At the same time, we are we are modern in terms of our infrastructure. We are modern in terms of the opportunities for young people. So I have great hopes for the state of Assam.
What is your weakness, according to you? What is your weakness?
Well, what I hope that I'm still quite young. I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to achieve. So I think that what I look at is that there are many more. I need to put in a lot more work, and I need to gain a lot more experience. I need to listen to people, and I think by listening is the way I learn the best.
What makes Gaurav Gogoi strong?
I think just the ability to listen. I'm quite patient. I genuinely listen to people, and I often find people listening to people's stories and experiences. I learn a lot from them because I love traveling. And when you travel, you meet so many different types of people, each with their own unique set of experiences. A businessman telling about how he started his own business, a doctor talking about the latest innovation in medicine, a sports person talking about how he or she prepares. So I think I listen a lot and I learn, and I'm able to integrate all these learnings into what I do.
My last question to you as we end this interview on this campaign trial. How do you want to transform Assam and India?
I think today our economic way, the economic model has to change because of climate change. We have to come up with a new economic model that preserves the economy. It is not that preserves the ecology and environment. It's not a question about environment versus development. So a new economic model that protects the environment, that creates jobs, that does not displace people from villages, and at the same time where everybody is included, irrespective of caste, community or gender or race or any other form of orientation, where everyone feels that this country belongs to them and they are safe whenever they walk out of the street. They are safe to wear what they want, to believe what they want, to say what they want. They are safe under the rights guaranteed to them by the Indian Constitution.